Oh, there we go. Sorry, y'all. This really got screwed up as far as my live goes. It wasn't supposed to happen till like 7:45, but anyways, the YouTube schedule did not work out the way it was supposed to, so we're just gonna adapt and we're gonna make this happen. Man, I was just about ready to finish a workout too. Give me a second here. Gotta turn some mics on. All right. What is that? That is the tailgate for the, well, since we've lost so many viewers. Hold on. All right. This is tailgate for the OBS GMC that I've been working on. Hell no, I don't play the guitar. That is for, I have no musical talent whatsoever. For the OBS GMC that I'm working on. That's been all jammed up and everything else. The last video was on doing the bed lining, and now we're coming over here doing the blocking just to get everybody caught up. All right. The OBS truck here is a budget build. This is kind of like a backyard project. It's, you know, maybe a father-son project, maybe a first car project, maybe a father-daughter project, because there's a ton of young ladies getting involved in motorsports these days. But anyhow, this is all, let me back that back up. The reason I'm calling this a budget project is because I'm doing it all by hand, showing you guys that you don't have to invest thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars into buying all sorts of tools and what have you. Like, if you want to spend the time and do it by hand, you can do it by hand. So this entire truck has been done by hand so far. I have used nothing but a air compressor and my spray gun. That is it so far. Everything else has been done by hand, and now we're at the point of doing the tailgate. And because this live video went live a lot sooner than we were really expecting it to. So I figured in a tutorial, I would show you guys how you can block something by hand. I think you can. I think you can buy like a super chat or something like that somewhere. But I figured, you know what? I'll set the camera up. I will show you guys how you block something by hand using nothing but those tools right there. You can use dry powder coat. I don't necessarily use it myself for the most part. What I'm going to grab, they make it in spray cans. I have some cans of black self-etching primer. That's what all the black is on there. And the reason that is on there is because when you start to sand, that's going to show you your high spots, your low spots. And until you sand it all off completely, it's never going to be level. So that's what you got to look for, and that's what you got to do. All right. So let's get this set up. See if I can kind of get my wits about me. If somebody wants to buy it, they can buy it now. You can buy the truck and have it built however you want. I actually thought about advertising it like that. I'm trying to get a really good angle. Well, I may have to just move this camera around a little bit too. All right, so this side has already been done. This has all been blocked by hand. You can see right here, I got some bare metal showing, and that's because that was a little bit of a high spot right there. This has all been built up with a few layers of primer, and I've blocked all this down. Now, this is going to get primered one more time because I have bare metal showing here. Obviously, we got this big spot of bare metal here. Some of the old paint that was here, and I found like 4 or 5 layers of paint on here, and obviously this was not from this truck because I found right across here where it said Chevrolet about 4.5 layers down. Maybe it was 5. Okay, the difference on this tailgate, and I didn't do the other side as of yet over there, but you will see it's got kind of like a stripe across it. So check it out. The reason that the stripe is across there is because the shape of the tailgate has got a curve. This is the peak of that curve. When I primered it, I put a lot of primer on this whole thing, and to get it really nice and flat, what I did was I started right here at that peak, and I kind of sanded that down so that when I got out to these sides, it's just starting to level out, because it's kind of a drastic curve if you don't do that. And again, it had a ton of paint on it, so there was all that paint buildup. Now it's just a really nice, smooth curve over the top of there. So what I did was I started with a hard sanding block, and I just started going right over the very top of that. I got that sanded down so I don't have to worry about it. That sanded down to where, and we'll roll this around to the other side. All right, so I got this all sanded down, and you can see all that guide coat that was on there is sanded off and gone now. So now I don't necessarily have to worry about this peak so much. I can just worry about these spots down here, and that's what we're going to get started with. And I'm going to do it with these 2 blocks. And let me grab some sandpaper, and we will get cracking at this. All right, so to get ready to start hand block sanding this, I have 3 different types of sandpaper. It's all the same stuff, just 3 different grits. 220, because I don't have 180 anymore, I ran out. 320, and then 400, and 400 is going to be our final grit that we use when we are when we're getting it ready to actually paint. We're using a solid color on this, so the final prep will be done in a 400 grit, as opposed to if it was a metallic, it would be done in a 600 grit. So I'm going to start with the 220. This is a DuraBlock. It's fairly stiff. I mean, it's got some flexibility to it, but it's pretty stiff. And as I get sanding on this, you're going to see some of the high spots, the low spots are going to show up pretty apparently, right? Now, anytime you are blocking a panel flat, you would think, oh, we'll just go back and forth, and that's actually not the case. What you want to do is you want to start in a cross pattern. Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me talking over the sound of the sanding. So I want to be able to explain this to you. Yeah, there's only one of you even watching. How much? Depends on how you want it built. You can take it as it is when it's done and lowered and what have you for 15,000, because it is getting lowered. It's getting a 6-inch drop on it. And we are actually going to see how it looks on the Krager SS's, because may have a pretty cool looking hot rod look to it. And okay. Basically what you're doing by doing it crossways is you're kind of making a grid. And as you're making it, you can see that's obviously a low spot. That's pretty low there. Anywhere that it's darker, anywhere that it's lighter, the primer is sitting a little higher because the block is sanding it off of there. And as you keep going, you're going to see, you know, dents, dings, scratches, stuff like that start to pop up. Not only that, what's really important, and hold on, I don't know how much, but I think I'm going to restart this live video because I had 28 viewers and now